Greetings, folks, and welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Coco Smooth, the casual collector with casual takes. And in this segment of 112 scale military action figures takes, I'm showcasing G.I. Joe Classified number 156, G.I. Joe Footloose. Put on your Sunday shoes. Yeah, um, not a bad look. Got that box art, you know. I was looking so forward to this because he's one of the few G.I. Joes that look kind of soldierly, actually. Like regular soldier-ish. Yeah. uh, hmm I never got him when I was younger, but when I joined the army, I was definitely a bigger fan of uh, the ones that started to look closer to being in actual uniform versus the guys that look more like they belong in some fantasy Hollywood movie, right? So yeah, here we go. He comes with his bazooka of sorts. But the good news is I'm going to be replacing his with the one that Top Fun Retro Toys did. Okay, so he's got his Bak, his M16. Mm-hmm. Rocket bazooka launcher. He has a knife. There's just some that makes me happy when I get a figure that looks closer to being an actual soldier. Now, I mean, yeah. Well, I get that when you're a kid, you don't know the difference. You just kind of enjoy the look, right? So it looks like this knife goes here. Yep. So I'm putting that on. Look at his head. Nope. I don't know if people were saying that he was looking like Pedro Pascal, but I don't think so. Upon closer inspection, he definitely looks more distinguished than that. Let's see. Yeah, I couldn't really grow a thick stash to save my life. Okay, but yeah, so no more gear. Just all here, and he comes with one of these. Not gonna lie, I have no idea what it is. I'm sure somebody in the comment section will be able to tell me. I'm not no weapons expert by any means. At least when it comes to gun, pistols, that kind of thing. Just, well, come to think of it, I'm not a expert in any kind of weapons. So I'm putting on his helmet. It's kind of cool because it's got like all kinds of shrubbery-ish, like a ghillie suit-ish kind of. All right. Uh-oh. So yeah, it's got that. I don't know if it's supposed to go up or down or nothing. Guess not. It just kind of stays put, which is fair. There you go. Put his backpack on. Yeah, he's looking great. He's looking very soldierly. But yeah, and I'm looking for, again, this is because I'm all about being soldierly. However, I know, this is where it gets kind of weird for me. Uh it kind of works against them a little bit because of all the things that came in before. What do you mean works against him? No, no, no. I'm like, as far as like being dazzled per se, because look at our boy uh Blowtorch, and then you got this dude, and you got this dude who's clearly, these guys are clearly, kind of out there, right? Just straight up, you know. I mean, and you got our guy Heavy Duty, this guy looking kind of plain in a sea of wildness. You know what I'm saying? Where the wild things are. So yeah, you know. But but the good news is, like, if I was to put him near an actual, uh, real closer to real life, uh, wep- like say a Humvee, he look or some kind of real life vehicle, army vehicle, he would look like he actually would make sense. Now, I'm not gonna front. I have no idea how to get this sucker to work. Yeah, I don't even know if I put it in correctly. You know what I'm saying? See the box art. Okay, so the box art doesn't even have him really holding it either, per se, just kind of hanging on to it. So I was beginning to feel bad, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Still don't know what I'm doing. But, you know, you know, yeah, so it's just him holding it, really, not really. Yeah, and that's, yeah, it's not staying in. I don't know why it's not staying in. Yeah, nah. That's, well, that was cute for a little bit, but the good news is he's got his M16, and now he would look good hanging out with like the likes of Grunt, Leatherneck. You know what I mean? Because they look closer to being real soldiers. You know what I mean? Like, or the classic soldier look. Classic infantry look. So far, so good. This bad boy dropped from, I pre-ordered in the Amazons, and so I was pretty glad that it finally came in. I was hoping he would come along closer, with the rest of the set, but better late than never. You know, um, he's a good look. I'm not sure what legs they're using, but the boots look like they're mole rat style, like the way it's tucked in and stuff. But I don't know, maybe closer to leatherneck's build. I wish I had him here for demonstration to show, but to compare. But I don't currently have him lying around to put them together. But yeah. Again, so because of how plain he is, like closer to being real life, in a sea of fantastically colored and armed and designed uniforms of the rest of his class, it's I guess it's a refreshing balance. You know what I mean? This guy grounds the rest. Might be a little too, in order of acceptable closeness to things. I guess you got Footloose, who's in the extreme, closer to being, and then this guy. This guy should. I think I'm being biased because he got camo on, but he should be in the far right of the spectrum, honestly. But yeah, these are absolutely fantastic. I love this set. I love what's going on. GI Joe is doing good. Um, I don't know about having a space for the Snow Cat or whatever it is that they're doing with Haslabs. I can't get with that. It's just I was never really well. I was when I was a kid. I couldn't get enough of the snow stuff because as a young Filipino in the Philippines, imagining what snow looks like, I was fascinated. But now it just seems too so seasonal to have snow anything. You know what I mean? The only thing snow like I think I can tolerate would be as far as setups go would most likely be the Hoth set. That's it. You know, Hoth battle set. Like if I was one of those World War II or Civil War miniature guys, you know what I mean? That would be the set that I would display. The Battle of Hoth, in snow and giant AT-ATs and snow speeders, that kind of thing. But yeah. Um, Final thoughts on this figure. Um, you know, I got a real cognitive dissonant take. Uh, as much as I'm proud of him looking closer to being a soldier, I was so conditioned to getting used to the idea of wild and fantastic that the others that it kind of makes him look a little on the plain side, right? But on the same token, that's also part of his charm, kind of ish. You know, because I can resonate with this more. But it's just he just seems awkward hanging around the only guy who followed regulations and everybody else decided to do their own thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, folks. That is all I got for 112 scale military action figures takes the GI Joe classified number 156 Footloose. I am your host, Coco Smooth, the casual collector with casual takes. And until the next video, folks, ciao.